What is your full name, sir?
Samuel Leonardo Beis Valdez.
All right, you are charged with being a prohibited possessor, unlawful possession of a dangerous drug, unlawful possession of drug paraphernalia, possession of a deadly weapon during a drug offense. I'm going to enter pleas of not guilty. Let you know you do have a constitutional right to remain silent, to be represented by an attorney. There is an attorney who is seated next to you representing you for this evening's hearing. I'm going to hear first from the prosecutor's office regarding their bond recommendation, and then I will hear from your attorney, Mr. Gant.
Thanks, Judge. I'm asking for a $10,000 bond. Mr. Beis Valdez is prohibited in possessing a gun, which is concerning. What's more concerning is he's got numerous prior felony convictions, some of which are violent or at least involve weapons. And he's on parole. I recognize that there's a parole hold, but the fact that he can only make it a few months before not only committing a crime, but possessing a gun makes him a danger to the community. So I'm asking for a $10,000 bond.
Defense counsel?
Your Honor, I don't believe a $10,000 bond is necessary. He does have a DOC hold, so until he gets that lifted, he can't get out, which is unlikely until the case resolves. He also was found sleeping under a vehicle, so I don't think there's any indication that he has the financial ability to meet anywhere near a $10,000 bond. This is considered a non-violent offense, so we'd be asking for no more than $5,000.
Mr. Beis Valdez, your bond set at $10,000. Public Defender's Office is appointed to represent you. You're not allowed to possess any firearms or weapons. Your preliminary hearing is set March 27th, 2025 at 1:30 p.m. Your attorney will be in touch with you. You also had a JP case, Ajo Justice Court case, sorry. It was a warrant on a driving on suspended license case from October 10th of 2023. I'm going to quash the warrant, release you. Your next court date in Ajo Justice Courts, April 1st at 9 a.m. I'll let Ajo know that you're currently in custody here in Tucson. Thank you. Your excuse. What is your full name, sir?
Carrillo.
Carrillo, you have new charges of promoting prison contraband and unlawful possession of narcotic drugs. My inner pleas of not guilty. You also had a warrant for your arrest, felony charge for unlawful possession of narcotic drug, unlawful possession of drug paraphernalia. The alleged incident date was from October 4th of 2024. Ms. Carrillo, you have a constitutional right to remain silent, to be represented by an attorney. There is an attorney who is seated next to you. Mr. Carrillo, are you awake? You got to pay attention. All right, Mr. Carrillo, the state's okay with you being released to the supervision of pretrial services for both of your cases. I'm going to follow that recommendation, release you to the supervision of pretrial services. You must comply with any monitored treatment they recommend. You cannot be drinking any alcohol. You cannot take any illegal drugs. You certainly cannot be in possession of any illegal drugs. The Legal Defender's Office is appointed to represent you. For your new case, your preliminary hearing is April 7th at 1:30. For the warrant case, your arraignment date is set for next week, March 24th at 1:30 p.m. You have to make this court date. If you don't, warrants will issue for your arrest. You also had misdemeanor charges for out of city court, new charge of criminal trespass in a third degree, and then you had a warrant for resisting arrest. I'm going to release you since I'm releasing you on the felony case. Your next court date in city court is going to be April 15th, 2:00 p.m. Make sure you make it on that date. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you're excused. Thank you.
Sure, we'll just have a seat down there. Yes. Pulse.
Hello.
What is your full name, please?
Desmond,
Mr. Holtz, you are charged with aggravated shoplifting and unlawful possession of drug paraphernalia. I'm going to enter pleas of not guilty. You do have a constitutional right to remain silent to be represented by an attorney. The prosecutor's office is okay with you being released to the supervision of pretrial services. I'm going to follow that recommendation, release you to their supervision. You must comply with any monitor treatment they recommend. Mr. Holtz, you cannot go back to that store location. You cannot pick up any new charges. You cannot drink any alcohol. You cannot take any illegal drugs. You cannot be in possession of any illegal drugs. Public Defender's Office is appointed to represent you. Your preliminary hearing is set April 7th at 1:30 p.m. Stay in touch with your attorney. You're excused. Thank you.
Thank you. We have taken host. We have a seat down there.
Oh,
What is your full name, please?
Michael Nunez.
You're charged with theft of means of transportation. I'm going to enter plea of not guilty. You do have a constitutional right to remain silent to be represented by an attorney. There is an attorney who is seated next to you representing you for this evening's hearing. The state prosecutor's office is okay with your release to the supervision of pretrial services. I am going to follow that recommendation and release you to the supervision of pretrial services. You must comply with any monitor treatment they recommend. You're not allowed to have any contact with the true owners of that vehicle. Don't go to where that person lives. You cannot drink any alcohol, take any illegal drugs. Legal Defender's Office is appointed to represent you. Your preliminary hearing is set April 7th, 2025 at 1:30 p.m. Make sure you stay in touch with your attorney. You also have some misdemeanor warrants for your arrest out of city court on 3 separate cases for criminal trespass in a 3rd degree. I'm going to enter pleas of not guilty. I will release you. I'm going to give you a chance to appear in city court one more time, April 22nd, 2025 at 9 a.m. Make sure you appear so you can resolve your cases. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you're excused. Thank you.
Yeah. Here's.
hello. Hello.
What is your full name, please?
Gary Lynn Pierce.
All right, Ms. Pierce, you have 2 separate felony cases. You have new charges of theft of means of transportation and burglary in 3rd degree. I'm going to enter pleas of not guilty. You also had a felony warrant for your arrest for unlawful use of means of transportation. The alleged incident date was April 17th of 2024. I'm going to quash the warrant in a plea of not guilty. And I need to let you know you do have a constitutional right to remain silent to be represented by an attorney. You do have an attorney who is seated next to you who is representing you for this evening's hearing. Jail, does she have a probation hold on her? Detained without bond.
No.
All right.
It's a probation out of county. She can go out of county.
Yep.
So no hold.
Wait, she has a probation hold or she does not?
No.
Probation violations are out of justice court or out of county warrants, Your Honor. She doesn't have one here in Tucson.
I understand that, but does she have a hold from the other county or is she being held?
She's being held on the probation violations unless he gets released, and we'll send a message to the out of counties to pick her up.
All right, just need to know if she has probation hold. All right, recommendations.
Judge, I thought she had a probation hold. Nonetheless, I'm going to ask for a $2,500 bond on each case. That's the amount listed in the warrant. She's on probation somewhere. She now has multiple cases and failures to appear.
Defense counsel.
Judge, we're not going to object to the 2,500.
All right. On each case, Ms. Pierce, your bond is set at $2,500. For each case, the public defender's office is appointed to represent you. For each case, you're not allowed to have any contact with the alleged victims or go back to any of the incident locations. For your warrant case on the unlawful use, your arraignment date is set for March 24th at 1:30 p.m. That's next week. Your preliminary hearing on your new charges is set for March 27th at 1:30 p.m. And you also had a Marana City Court warrant for your arrest for theft and fraudulent use of credit cards from June 20th of 2022. I'm going to quash the warrants, release you. Your next court date in Marana is set for April 16th at 10 a.m. You also had a warrant for your arrest at a Douglas Justice Court for a charge involving 3 counts of drug paraphernalia from February 10th of 2019. I'm going to quash the warrants, release you, set your next court date in Douglas Justice Court, April 1st, 2025 at 9:30 a.m. I'll let Douglas know that you're currently in custody on the felony matter. You also had warrants for your arrest out of Tucson City Court. Not sure what you're trying to do, Ms. Pierce. You got cases in almost every jurisdiction in Southern Arizona. I don't know what the issue is, but the case out of Tucson City Court, let's see. One case was a DUI case. Let's see. That you have not resolved. I'm going to set your bond in city court at $2,000. City Public Defender's Office is appointed to represent you. Your next hearing date is going to be on March 25th, 2025 at 1:45 p.m. I'll appoint a city public defender to represent you, and your attorney from the city PD's office will be in touch with you. Thank you. You're excused.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, you may.
So if I post the bond, I can get released, or I can't because of the probation hold?
You have probation hold, so I'm not really sure. You might want to talk to your felony attorney first to see what's happening in those out-of-county probation holds, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you. Your felony attorney will be in touch with you soon. Thank you. All right, everyone's excused, and we're going to go off camera. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.